How long has Eugene Levy been a band for now? Like, what, about 2 years?
Yeah, almost. Actually, we're coming up
Not
on
even close.
a little over a year.
Yeah,
Only a
not even
little
close.
over a year.
Oh, baby band still.
Yeah,
Dude, baby band, but
Oh,
making a lot
yeah.
of progress.
That's
we
awesome.
hit it. Like when we started, I had the original game plan. I wanted to come out of the gate with stuff because I feel like a lot of bands, and not this is the wrong way to do it. I just want to do it a little bit differently. But a lot of bands will just be like, "Oh, we have a Facebook."
And then there's
oh, we
nothing to
have
listen
this.
to.
Yeah,
There's a
there's
bad
not-
practice video.
Yeah,
I've been there. Oh, trust me, I've been there.
I'm not talking wrong on the way they do it,
No.
man. Because like in reality, it's all art. So like
It
however way you want to present it. But
Dude,
I was like, well, let me take everything I learned from my old band and let me bring it in, right? And so I was like, well, let's record an EP. Let's have an EP recorded before we launch a Facebook. Let's have like stuff ready to go because I wanted it to where like when we launched, we're like, hey, in a week we're gonna drop a song, and so it's like there's not like not that anybody was waiting for anything because like we're a new band. And although I know I had a few people who were like excited to hear about what like individual members within the band are going to come out with, but like I wanted to come out the gate with just music, come out the gate with everything, and I think we did that well, and we did a good job at like continually putting something out. I hate the word content just because it feels very like it's too businessy.
Unorganic.
It just doesn't. It's too businessy for me. But like that's what we were doing. We were putting out songs. We're putting out.
You want to make sure that you had a solid discography. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Because, some people, they'll come out, they'll do a bunch of shows and they'll be phenomenal. Then it'll take forever to record. And then in a lot of cases, they'll record and then break up. I've been there so many times. We go in, record a phenomenal album, then something happens, and then boom. And then I've got 2 guys left out of 5 of us. And then got to pick up the pieces. And you, like you said, you don't want to be the shadow of your other bands. You want to make sure when you do come out, you have something to show for yourself right off so you can show definitively the difference between the two.
And like it's hard. It's a lot of work to do that. Like I want to say it took, but before we played our first show, because like we're counting the beginning of the band being the first show. It was like I want to say at least 3 to 6 months of preparation before we like had anything out. Like our first show, we put out our EP that week, I think.
Well, that's smart because a lot of bands will sit back and they'll write like 4 songs, but like, oh, this is really good. Be like, it'd be really better. And what you don't realize yet is the next 15 songs you write are going to be that much tighter.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Not to knock the first 4 ever,
yeah,
but
actually,
there's something that to me personally, in my opinion, and I'm agreeing with you here that there is something to putting in a little bit of preparation into it. And especially to come out to have a decent recording, even if it's like, 2, 3, 4 tracks, even a single nicely prepared is going to say a little bit more. And I think you'll be taken a little bit more seriously. Unless you come out and you're just like, unless you're Sean magically.
Dude, well, Sean's like the best band ever, dude. Like I tried to learn one of their songs on guitar, and I was like, this isn't gonna happen for me, man. I was like, this is way harder than a power chord.
Saw them open up for After the Burial, and no, it wasn't After the Burial. Excuse me, it was The Contortionist.
Okay.
And
that'd be a good show.
Well, great guys. I actually, several years back, they were like a local opener in New York. I went to go film Arsonists Get All the Girls and Plea for Purging and Lionheart in Albany.
Okay.
And one local opener played, and then this band came on, and it was The Contortionist, and they played 3 songs. And it was what would be the beginning of their first full length. And actually, I'll send you some links later. It's on my YouTube before they blew up, and it changed I was like,
wow,
blew my mind. And I swore to this day, and I tell everybody this: go to the fucking show at the beginning when doors open.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I don't care about the local openers and things like that. Like
you
have no idea what you might see. And had I been outside, just hanging out, doing God knows what in the parking lot, I would have missed what I think is one of the more influential, or I would say influential, one of the most unique bands in the last few years. Contortionist is phenomenal. And then they joined with actually one of Maine's biggest bands, Last Chance to Reason. They got Evan Salmon's buddy of mine on drums, and then their vocalist. And then that's when the new Contortionist came out. But anyways, incredibly great band.
Oh yeah.
Sean, I mean, just to back up though, yeah, Sean talking about doing something totally different and just being themselves entirely.
Dude, they're the only band that like I kind of suck because I only want to listen to bands that have singers. I don't know why.
I love instrumentalists.
But Sean was the first band that I was like, there's a melody. There's a really good melody here, and like it was on guitar, and I think the song that got me hooked, I think, was called "Book" by them. And like after that, I was like, I'm all into this band. And they've been consistently putting out just crazy good records.
They just keep getting better and better and better, and they're so good.
Yeah, it's like I Built the Sky. I'm a huge fan of them. That's, all instrumental dude out of Australia.
Yep.
God, it's so good and melodic, and he's a phenomenal player. Yeah, big time fan of the instrumental.
Another, if you hadn't heard of them, Their Dogs Were Astronauts. Yeah, first of all,
I love that name.
Yes, that's the thing that drew me in. I'm like, wait, Their Dogs Were Astronauts. I'm hooked. An album called Earth. It's on. Oh my dude, check it out. Unbelievable. Like that heavy 8-string, but it's all instrumental. Lots of production value. Really cool, like ambient, like sound building, soundscaping with like incredibly like heavy crushing metal. They are.
Send me a link, would you?
Oh, I absolutely will.
Yeah, sweet. Appreciate that.
So that's what do you guys listen to kind of, in between things besides, some of the pop punk? We talked about Chonin a little bit. Some off-genre bands that like have been big influences for you or you can't stop listening to.
Juice WRLD all the way. Juice WRLD, what happened is the guy we recorded with, I was trying to record some melodies. He's like, let me give you a bunch of people to listen to and then you come back, right? And then he gave me Juice WRLD, and for some reason I clinged, but I got really into Juice WRLD, and I think that dude is, was just, dude, the dude loved good music too, and like he wrote great melodies. I don't know.
What song off of A Night In did you use his sort of melodies?
Dude, it'd be A Night In. It'd be A Night In. That's where I got that's when like going into like kind of what we do sometimes, like I didn't want to pigeonhole my vocals to pop punk vocals. I didn't want to be like, I have to sing a pop punk melody here. And so with our last EP, A Night In, I really like the whole thing, I would say, like was influenced by Juice WRLD, because like,
it's totally different too if you've listened to it.
Let's just be poppy. Let's give into the fact that we're pop punk. Let's just have fun with it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're willing to take those types of risks, because honestly, when anyone just thinks like, oh, if you think of yourself as a pop punk band or as a grindcore band, and you just have those blinders on and you can't think about pulling in different styles of music to influence you, then you're completely lost, and you're going to fall flat on your face and just keep recording the same 8-9 songs over and over and over. And to me, that's just repetition. So it doesn't show any growth as a band.
I think a good example of a band that did it, like brought in poppier melodies, and is the band Belmont. They did some cool shit. I met their guitarist. I met their guitarist in my old band. I don't think he'll ever remember this, but my old band played at the Fireside Bowl, and he showed up, and I met their guitarist. I don't even know if the band existed at that time. But I added him on Facebook and whatever, and then I just saw his band starting to blow up and seeing Belmont. And I'm like, that dude was really cool, man. Like, he showed up to the show, wasn't playing the show, just wanted to support his scene and support people. And then, like, what was cool is, like, his band is, I think, one of the more, like, I don't know if the term is forefront, but they're really pushing the genre and doing something very unique, and I love that,
Yeah, I think you could say that we're doing the same thing, at a local area, you know what I mean? Like, on a local arena, you know, by all means.
I hope
pushing
so.
the envelope, man. You know, we every time we write together, we want to do something that we've never done before, something that feels different, but also feels wrong, you know, because if we stick in our ways, we'll keep writing those same songs over and over.
And
so that's why I love Brian. Brian pushes me to like, no, dude, trust me, try this. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we do a lot of that.
I hate it, but I'm going to do it. And then I end up loving it. So
and it goes both ways, because sometimes I'll be like, Cameron, you should change that because I don't like that. And they're like, no, we're going to keep this. And then it ends up kind of working out. Like
you gotta compromise like that.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta step outside of your comfort zones a bit and try something new. And especially where pop punk can be so synonymous with so many different genres, and it is, because you get A Day to Remember and Blink-182 underneath, the same, but also you can put bands like The Descendants underneath the same exact category as well. Of course, who doesn't?
My heart, dude. I just recently in the past few months, it's been a while, but I just learned the bass line to I'm the One, and when I was a kid I always wanted to do it, and now I can do it, and I'm like super hype on it. I love that band. But no, man, I like to think we just do whatever feels right and just have fun. And my main goal, this is more of a personal goal. I haven't really told the rest of the band this, I guess, but I just don't want us to add not that I was never a big fan when bands would go from a rock genre and then add in a ton of synth and then drowned out a guitar. It was not me. And my main goal with this band, I don't think we're heading even close to that, is to keep I'm all about getting more poppy. I'm all about adding as many pop elements as possible, but I just want to keep that that guitar
the riffage,
because I feel like that guitar helps it it helps it stay that what I love about the genre.
100%.
And that's not mean to any other bands that don't do that or anything.
No, and there's a lot of even punk bands. Hell, even NoFX uses light keyboard accents for all their live shows. They have a keyboard player. She travels around with them everywhere, but it's never overshadows the guitar. And I think if you stay conscious of that, then you're going to be able to maintain that line that you want. And especially with trying new things.
Oh yeah, and because one of my favorite bands is Houston Calls, which I don't know if you ever heard of them, but
I haven't.
They're a pop punk band that I think the term would be maybe power pop. I'm not sure, honestly. Genres become very confusing, I think, for everyone. But they're a pop punk band with a synth, and the synth does a lot of the leads. And I love that band. It's just I always get bummed out when a band really takes their guitars and brings it down, and then they bring up the synth, and they just usually lose me then. And not that it's a bad thing. It's definitely a choice, because it's you're gonna get bored at some point. And you want to do something a little different. But it's just not for me.
And you gotta find that right balance. I mean, some people go a little far. You get other bands like Enter Shikari that nail it perfectly. Absolutely perfectly, hands down. Absolutely love that band with all my heart.
Oh yeah, big time.
And they've another band taking massively different risks as they continue to evolve.
Yep.
So and speaking of that, and as you're moving forward, you're a new band, you're getting yourself out there. We're showing people your video and a few of your tracks, and as things progress, hopefully you're great guys, and I really hope that you're able to achieve the things that you want to in life. If you were, able to go out with any band on the road to take you out for your first major U.S. tour, who would you want to take you out and mentor you?
That's a fun question.
That is a fun question. I mean, obviously
anyone in the game
Newfound
right
Glory.
now. Anyone in the game right now.
Newfound Glory would be amazing, right?
They're about to put out a new record that's going to be so good.
Yeah. I'm not a Blink fan. I mean, I'm a Blink fan, but I'm not a Blink fan. You know what I mean? So I just never.
There is a difference.
I just couldn't do it.
I like Blink-182, but there are Blink fans, and I'm not one of them.
I just can't get on board.
I sadly am.
I'm not a very
I'm
punk
sorry.
Fan. Yeah. I love that band way too much, man. That band changed my life, and I wouldn't be playing music if it wasn't for that band.
And I know a lot of people like that, but for me, I grew up on little bit older than that of, you know, the No Effects, the Adolescents, Bad Religion, things like that. You know, like
MXPX.
you know,
That's where I
MXPX.
start. That's where I start, right? So
Well, that
as
like
far
New
as
Found
punk
Glory,
goes,
like H2O, and Pennywise, kind of your later '90s bands.
Pennywise, yeah,
Your beginning of the Warped
Anti-Flag.
Tour, you know, Anti-Flag. Oh my God, dude. Oh,
So many
Warped
good
Tour
bands.
2001, 2002. Those in 2000.
My first
100%.
Warped
The
Tour
glory
was
years
2012.
of the Warped Tour
Oh,
before it was what it is or what it was now.
Yeah.
Metalcore Fest.
Yeah, dude.
And it's not bad. It's not, dude.
When I
That's where the
went,
money
I
was.
saw.
At the
Well, even back in the
Was,
day,
dude.
they had Hate Breed on it and stuff like that, and you know,
Oh,
Poison the Well. You know,
original like hardcore
and
bands.
Glass Jaw.
Yeah, look at that.
Black Eyed Peas was on there, man. There's a lot of good bands.
Yeah.
It's really funny, actually. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but for me, a big dream when I was in high school was to play Warped Tour. I never got to do that, and it's really funny because, like, I'm thinking like 5 to 10 years down the line, I talk to a younger musician, they're not going to know what the fuck Warped Tour was. And
True.
so it's going to be really funny when I go, oh, I always have the dream of playing Warped Tour. And they're
You're
going
like,
to
what the shit?
what is that? And then I have to explain to them the whole thing. And that's so, that makes me feel really old now. You know?
And I feel that and like back that up. Like for me, an aspiration, God, was to play Hellfest in New Jersey. If you're not familiar
Ooh.
with Hellfest in New Jersey, look it up. You like Dillinger Escape Plan, old Poison the Well videos there. I mean, the who is who of like metal, punk, and hardcore playing on Hellfest
Really?
for 3 days in like this massive, what looks like 3 chicken barns long, you know, just like connected straight down with rafters. Dude, you want to see some insane. I mean, it was the glory days of beginning of hardcore pits, and like it was, as I say, it's the Wild West of metal and hardcore. So I've been
Right.
referring to it. The early 2000s was a big formative year for so many bands. A lot of bands headed in new direction, and I think the advancements of like digital recording, the accessibility of it, price dropping down for home recordings. I mean, in MySpace years, I mean, there was fucking millions of bands that popped out of nowhere.
Ridiculous.
Have you guys noticed in your area, especially being a newer band, have you noticed in the last few years kind of a drop in band density?
I
have
QCC
here
is
in
kind
Maine.
of dense, dude. I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. I think the QC is popping pretty hard. I think so.
We got a good music scene here, no matter what you're into.
Not for our genre.
No, but we have a good scene.
Because pop punk is not cool to play now. I don't think it hasn't been for like I think a while now. But that's why I like to play it anyway, because it's like it
makes you happy.
You know,
that's what matters at the end of the day.
But I'd say there is and there isn't. Like, it's hard to remember because of the amount of beers I've consumed since then. No, when I was younger though, I remember there being like I feel like a good amount of bands, and then as you get older, you guys would know this too. Like a lot of people stop playing music for whatever reason it is. And I know myself. Whenever I get like, I think the term would be big boy job is what me and my friends call it. Whenever I get my big boy job, like. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop playing music. I can't do that. I think when my old band broke up, I had such a crisis. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know if I can go on without playing this music. And so then luckily Eugene Levy somehow got put together from like my mind, Brian's mind, whoever else's mind, everybody's mind, dude. And then we just, I don't know, man. Like I could never stop playing music. That would break my heart. So much.
But it's also different because like it's not just at a local level. I mean it is, but with all of us, every one of us has this aspirations of getting out of here still. Like, you know what I mean? Even at 30s, 35, 25, like, we're not just doing this for weekend plays, dude. Like we hired people to do our social media. Like we're doing everything we can to get followers, get listeners, this and that, write the best stuff we can, get the best production we can. I mean, actually still trying at this old of age, you know what I mean?
And for a newer band, your video quality, your recording quality, it's phenomenal. And it really...
I appreciate that. We take pride in that. That's a big time.
You should. You should be proud of what you've accomplished so far in such a short amount of time. I've seen bands together 3, 4, 5 years that don't even have half their shit together that you do. So definitely pat yourself on the back for being a newer band and getting this far already.
It depends on how like you think about it. Because like for me, I care a lot about sound quality. I know Cameron cares more than I do about sound quality. But like but like that's something important for us because like when we started the band, the other Brian and I were talking and we're like, if we play live shows, we're playing really simple music. Like at the especially at the time we weren't doing like some of the stuff that Cameron does. We're playing some simpler more pop punk. We have to be tight. We have to sound good, because if we're not tight and don't sound good together, people are gonna see through that really quickly.
They're not gonna take it seriously.
They're not gonna like it because they're like, oh well, I've heard this before. So we had to be as tight as we could be. And luckily we figured that out. Like we went with Aaron, who recorded my old band, and he also at the time was in a band called 5 a.m., which are friends of ours. And we just recorded with him, and we keep recording with him. Joe Gibbs, he's the bassist in 5 a.m. He did our video. He's done all of our videos, I believe, that are like us. And he just does phenomenal work. If you see people in the Quad Cities, or if you see people in Iowa, Illinois, like around us, they're probably filmed by either Joe Gibbs or my boy Emil. My boy Emil does really good stuff too.
Yeah, I think we're gonna check him out for this next video that we do. Right,
he's a
Brian?
good friend of mine. Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely be looking forward to all of it. Before we part ways here, any final thoughts or messages to the world you wish to share?
If I can do it, you can do it. I don't know if anybody I don't know, hopefully somebody I don't know sees this, but in my first band, people told me that I was a bad singer. People like I went through years of, I feel like, not singing very well. And I had people criticize me and hit me for that. And like, if I can do it, you can do it. And so don't let if somebody says you're bad, just keep working harder and harder, because eventually something's going to click. Eventually something's going to work. Music is about, like, if you have something you need to say and you have a way to do it, luckily we have music, and so do that. And don't let people keep you down, because I went a long time with people telling me I sucked. And I did suck for a while. I remember those days as back before I started drinking. But no, I remember those days when I was younger, and I did suck. I didn't know what I was doing. But luckily, I feel like over time I've gotten better. I'm not a great singer. I'm no like Patrick Stumper, like Brendan Urie, I think is a great singer. But and just don't let people keep you down for that. I don't know if that's positive. Hopefully that's positive.
Oh, it is, man. Yeah. You're right. What do you think, Cam? Any final thoughts before we part ways?
Hey, that's about it, man. With all the hate going on in the world, just, listen to music. Let's get back together. Unity in the shows, man. I can't stress that enough. So hopefully everybody stays safe through all this, but also we can get back to shows. But other than that, man, check out Eugene Levy website, eugenelevyband.com, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us, check us out, say hi to us, anything. We got merch on our website, sporting one right now. Swag, some Eugene Levy swag. I mean, we got hats coming in, dad hats. Check out our new EP, A Night In. Dude, I appreciate you for giving us to your neck of the, like, your coast. So if it's 1 to 5 to 10 people, 22,000 people that listen to this, dude, thank you so much, and hopefully people enjoy it. But dude, thank you.
This has been great, and this, I like to hear everybody's story. Everybody's got a story to tell.
Absolutely.
And I want to know about, the journey so far, and, in a little bit down the road, we're going to check back in with you and see where things have brought you,
We're coming in. We're going in hot this time, dude.
I would love for you guys to come out to the East Coast. I was telling that to the Louseketeers, which we're going to see later tonight in the episode. New York City band. I was like, you need to come to Maine. Portland's got a great scene, a great punk, metal, hardcore scene. You want to check out Gino's. You want to check out Sun Tiki. Those are the two places in Portland, Maine. Gino's Rock Club and Sun Tiki. I'll send you a link later. They're awesome clubs. They're the ones that hold those types of shows.
Brian Wilson, B-Will.
Okay.
You guys got a lot of connections. Yeah, you guys got a lot of connections out there from Exit Emergency. So that's the thing. Like, if we were going to make a run happen or a small tour happen, it would be East Coast driven, because we know so many people that can get us in, couches, whatever. But dude, we would love to get up there. So send us anything we can, because I'm
absolutely.
telling you, once the CP drops, it's all hands on deck. We're out of here. So we hope everybody enjoys it. And again, we can't thank you enough for exposing us,
Well,
man.
thank you both so much. My guests tonight have been Brian and Cameron, both of Eugene Levy, Muscatine, Iowa's very own. Thank you both so much for joining me, and we'll talk to you both very soon.
See you later, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining me on the mixtape.